What's up? My name's Tucker. We're going to be talking about the San Antonio Spurs in today's video. If you like it, leave a like rating on the video. Check out my socials right here. Let's go. Okay, San Antonio. We've been getting some interesting rumors and just some little tidbits about San Antonio lately. Most notably, DeJounte Murray with some tweets. Not super happy about the fact that he is reportedly in some trade rumors. We're going to talk about those rumors. We're going to talk about the offseason as a whole. Let's go and get into it. So I think we'll leave the Murray and like Derrick White, like trade rumors, we'll leave those to the side for right now. Let's talk about what I think is the biggest part of the entire offseason for San Antonio, and it's DeMar DeRozan, a player that they could have traded for 2 years. I think it became really realistic to trade him this year once they decided to buy out LaMarcus Aldridge, and they were still, pushing to be in a play-in game and things like that, but it was clear that this wasn't going to be a great season for them, and they decided not to trade DeMar DeRozan at the deadline, and it really didn't seem like there was a lot of momentum towards even considering that as a possibility, which is odd because I've been kind of making the assumption this entire time that DeMar DeRozan is going to go somewhere else, that San Antonio is just kind of about bringing him back. He doesn't really want to be in San Antonio, and he's probably headed towards LA in some type of situation. But the fact that they were so uninterested in possibly moving him at the deadline makes me think that maybe that's not the case, and maybe they want to bring this guy back, continue to run it back, and that goes with this theme that we're going to talk about throughout the video, that is San Antonio just they're not giving up. They're not going to go into the rebuild thing. As long as Greg Popovich is there, that's the bottom line. If Pop is coaching the team and he's willing to be there, they are not going to do what is probably been the smart basketball thing for like 3 years now, and that is to just run it back. You know what I mean? Like just roll everything back, trade some guys away, be bad for a little bit, develop young players, and you'll be good. It's still the Spurs. You still have the knowledge and the know-how on how to develop players and how to get them in the right situation, how to develop them for your system. They just haven't been willing to do that. And again, I think that comes back to Pop, and he has certainly earned that right to say, hey, I want to stay and coach, and I don't want to coach through a rebuild. He has earned that right, absolutely, with the amount of success that he has had in the league. But it's still frustrating to see an organization not make what has been pretty clearly the correct basketball decision for worst case like the last 2 years. But again, that speaks to the DeRozan thing, where it seems like maybe they will bring him back. I don't know. I think that the best thing they can do is sign and trade him to one of the LA teams, because I think that's where he wants to go. I think it makes sense in relative terms for both those teams to acquire DeMar DeRozan, just because of the limited ability they have to bring in someone like that in the first place. If the opportunity presents itself to bring him in a sign and trade, then that's certainly something that they should do. And so, I mean, yeah, maybe you're not super excited about Kuzma or Luke Kennard or whatever the case may be, but if it's that or nothing, sure. I mean, DeMar DeRozan can go to LA. I don't care. It just depends on if those teams can work out a contract that works for him and figure out the logistics behind that deal. But we'll go ahead and move on to the DeRozan thing here for a second and talk about some of these rumors have been floating around. So basically, the rumors are that DeJounte Murray and Derrick White are gettable, is the phrasing. You can go and get these guys. You can call about them. You can ask in trade discussions. I think it's also interesting that Keldon Johnson got selected to the Team USA team that Pop coaches. I definitely just think that's an interesting little wrinkle. DeJounte Murray is a good player. Derrick White is a good player. Murray is a couple years younger, crazy defensive potential, has really grown as a guard. Had a bad injury early on in his NBA career. Both those guys are solid. I think Murray has more upside. I think Derrick White, is just a good player. The thing with both those guys is they're making 15, 16, 17, then Murray's contract runs out, and then the following year, White is making 18. So are you all that excited about spending 30 plus million combined on those two guys? Maybe not. And if you're San Antonio, maybe you think you can get value out of those two guys. And I mean, quite frankly, like that kind of gives me those rumors, even though DeJounte Murray's not happy about them, kind of give me hope and kind of excite me about this idea that maybe San Antonio is considering looking at some of their options when it comes to kind of looking towards a rebuild and prioritizing, Vassell and Lonnie Walker, who I think is a talented player, Keldon Johnson. That's been kind of the issue over the last couple of years, is like, pick some guards, please, San Antonio. Like, you have 1,000 of them. Pick the guys that you like, and maybe Keldon Johnson is the guy that they like the most. Now, the pessimist in me says that maybe what they're doing is they're trying to trade these, younger-ish guys for players that are going to help them more right now. And they're going to lean even more into this whole going towards the middle thing and continue to just be a mediocre basketball team. The pessimist in me says that that's a possibility as well, that they're using the 24-year-old DeJounte Murray and the 27-year-old Derrick White to go out and get some veteran leadership to help this team continue to push towards the playoffs, and then let, guys like Keldon Johnson and Lonnie Walker kind of step up. But that's just me being pessimistic, which is kind of, it's my natural state. So A couple interesting things here for San Antonio is some of the guys that they've kind of relied on for the last couple years, not just DeMar DeRozan, are free agents this offseason. So Rudy Gay, Patty Mills, these are two guys that have been really critical parts of the rotation. They've been good players for them for a good while, and they've had opportunities to move them, just like DeRozan. Not for crazy value, but they could have gotten something for someone like Rudy Gay or someone like Patty Mills. These are good players. They can shoot, they can defend, they're intelligent, and they haven't done that, which again points to this idea that maybe San Antonio is just, they're committed, man. Like, they're not going to give this up until Pop decides to retire. They're just going to keep running it back, no matter what. Now, at the end of the day, here's what I've talked about, what I think they will do. Here's what I think they should do. I think San Antonio should look to sign and trade DeRozan for some kind of value. It's probably going to be to one of the LA teams, so it's not going to be crazy value, but you get something rather than just letting this guy walk. Then you look at moving Derrick White, ideally, for some kind of value. I'd like to keep DeJounte Murray. I think DeJounte Murray is an interesting player. I think he's versatile. I think we can kind of make some things work with him. I'm more invested in his development. Let's see if we can get something for Derrick White. Then you look at this crazy amount of cap space that San Antonio has this offseason, assuming they let DeRozan go or trade him in sign and trade, Rudy Gay, Patty Mills, guys like that come off as free agents, and you're only at $60 million in payroll, again, assuming you haven't brought any of those guys back. And I would prioritize looking at some of the interesting restricted free agent targets in the offseason. Larry Markin and Lonzo Ball, a handful of different guys. Whatever guys you like, go out there and take a flyer on one of those guys. Even if it costs $15 million a year, you're already doing that with Murray and White. Go out and get someone that you could potentially add to the talent base here. I think that's the best use of their free agency money, because it's not like San Antonio is going to be a big-time free agency destination anyway. So why not go out there and get someone that could potentially develop into being worth that $15 million a year contract, potentially, you know, being worth even more than that. So that would be my ideal situation and scenario, because I do think there's actually a lot of things going for San Antonio. I think there's some interesting young players here, whether you're a DeJounte Murray fan or not, whether you like Keldon Johnson or not, whether you liked how Vassell looked as a rookie. There's some possibilities here with that, and a DeRozan sign and trade, and cap space available, and the development program they put in place over the years, to where San Antonio doesn't have to be bad, and they also don't have to be mediocre. Like, they can kind of find their place within all that. But at the end of the day, they're just an enigma. Like, nobody knows what's happening. It's like Kawhi has left his personality in San Antonio, where nobody ever knows what's going on. Like, these little tiny rumors about DeJounte Murray and Derrick White are like the only indication we've gotten about anything. If this was any other team, we'd have 15 DeMar DeRozan rumors coming out between now and the start of free agency. We haven't gotten anything. Would I be surprised if DeMar DeRozan just walks and leaves and goes signs a $15 million contract with Dallas? No, I wouldn't be surprised at all, because we don't know anything about San Antonio. They are just an enigma. And I will again just state my frustration with the idea that it is the correct basketball thing to do to continue to be mediocre. I think time and time again, smart teams, which I still count San Antonio as a smart team, have shown that being in the middle does not work. Strictly from a basketball competitiveness standpoint. Yes, you can talk about ticket sales and trying to be a viable franchise. You can talk about tons of different things not related to being a title contending basketball team, but specifically when it comes to team building. And I picture my job as a team builder is to build the best possible basketball team I can in the long term. I don't think that San Antonio is doing the correct things to be able to achieve that goal, and that's where my frustration comes in. It's no disrespect to the organization, to Pop. I'm not trying to pretend like I know better than those guys. I just think from the outside looking in, it is very clearly a situation where you need to focus on Keldon Johnson, and you need to focus on using this cap space on young players, and you need to focus on getting value out of someone like DeMar DeRozan, and maybe they have decided to do that. Maybe these rumors of White and Murray are exactly what they seem like, where they're cleaning house a little bit, and they will get value out of DeRozan. But at the end of the day, I'm just in like, I'll believe it when I see it mode for San Antonio, and I hope that this offseason is the one in which we see it. But that is going to be the end of today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, rating on it. Consider subscribing for more videos every single day. Check out more videos from me, the box on screen as well. And check out my socials and the link down in the description below. Hope you guys have an awesome, fantastic rest of your day, and I will see you all next time.